Hello, Star Wars fans. We're now over halfway through December 2018, and in one more year, we're going to get the results of J.J. Abrams' impossible task in the form of Star Wars Episode 9. So I thought talking about my speculations for what the following year holds in store for Star Wars fans would be the perfect topic for this video. For one, I don't think that the media is going to stop shilling for Kathleen Kennedy and Disney Star Wars. But at this point, if you are still following Star Wars news, you have grown slightly resistant to the literal insanity of modern media and are probably able to shrug off the attacks as no big deal. At this point, I'm personally amused at modern media's attempts to string together any talking point possible to paint a negative picture of the Star Wars fan base. And just so you know, I fully expect them to return to blaming men and white people about a few months before Episode 9 in order to shame us into going to view their SJW propaganda. I think Kathleen Kennedy will come out of hiding for a public appearance only once in 2019, just before the release of Episode 9, just like how she made a single appearance for Solo after Episode 8, The Last Jedi. We are also going to keep hearing rumors about Episode 9, and they are only going to reaffirm the fan base's guess that Lucasfilm is creatively bankrupt. The ones we've heard so far might seem like simple misdirection, similar to how other big movies try to misdirect their fans. Yet in my opinion, the ones we are receiving for Episode 9 are just further proof that Lucasfilm doesn't know in which direction to take Episode 9 in order to regain the fans' goodwill. They are afraid to go out on a limb, and therefore are relying on groupthink to dictate the end of Disney's sequel trilogy. Out of all the rumors, though, there is one in particular that should frighten all of you. It sure scares me. The one where the final movie is split into two parts. This is because I don't think Kathleen Kennedy will leave until the series is complete. I predicted that after Episode 9 bombed, she would be out of a job 4 to 5 months into 2020. But if the final movie is split into two, she might survive her entire 3-year contract, which is disheartening to think about. Bob Iger is supposed to resign sometime next year, and I think it won't happen until after the opening ceremony of at least one of the new Star Wars parks. This article states July 2019, which is right in line with the opening of the first park. And of course, there's the elephant in the room. Episode 9 itself. It's going to bomb. There's no doubt in my mind. The dislike among the fanbase for Disney Star Wars is just like a festering wound that keeps growing bigger and bigger with all the media attacks and shills popping up every other day. Not to mention that J.J. Abrams has been encouraging improvisation from his actors. That's a lot to ask for out of the current cast of Star Wars. And it's further proof that there isn't a cohesive story. They are going to string together random good scenes and stitch them together. I'm sure that all of you listening to this are already aware that Iron Man had a lot of improvisation and turned out to be good enough to be the foundation of the current MCU. But there's a big difference between asking Jeff Bridges and Robert Downey Jr. to improv and asking the surviving actors in Disney Star Wars to improv. The result is going to be a total Frankenstein's monster. How can it not be when the fanbase knows what J.J. Abrams has left to work with? Considering the actual story, J.J. will have to resort to some sort of ass pull to make the trilogy make sense. He's also going to use unused footage of Carrie Fisher from the previous 2 movies for this third entry, which are already scenes that weren't considered good enough for the other films. Kathleen Kennedy is still in charge, so it's going to be layered with SJW ideology, which doesn't appeal to normal movie-going audiences. Plus, JJ isn't known for being great at wrapping up plot lines in satisfying ways. It will still look and sound like Star Wars, but I think it will fail at everything else. At least according to what we've seen with The Last Jedi and Solo. So yes, totally predicting the movie makes less than 800 million in worldwide ticket sales for the entire run at the box office. And I think 800 million is more of the ceiling, not the floor. And I think there's no way in hell that it'll make more than 800 million. And if it doesn't make 800 million, it doesn't make any profit. So 2019 will be an atrocious year for a Star Wars fan. We will have to put up with modern media painting us in a negative light. We will have to put up with the knowledge that Kathleen Kennedy is still in charge at Lucasfilm. But at least we will get to see a spectacular train wreck to finish off the year from a safe distance if you don't go watch the movie. This was a pretty negative video, but considering it's about what to expect from Disney Star Wars in 2019, I think it turned out rather accurate, which is sad. For everyone who made it this far, thanks for listening. Maybe check out some of my other videos that aren't quite as negative, and
may the Force be with you.